Well, I guess I'll keep answering your comments. Hello, it's Romania Black. Yuji's been taken over by Sukuna, and last week I had a lot of comments, but I couldn't read hardly any of them because people were being spoilery, and this week it's like you all took notes. Or rather, you just didn't spoil me, so thank you. This week the moderators were like, okay, we don't know if we should panic or not, but there was like no spoilers in the comments. You can read all of them. And read all of them I did. So yes, or I believe I read all of them. I think there was like maybe one spoiler comment out of all of them, but that was like it. The rest I did read, so fun times. But yeah, it's Romania Black. We're on episode 16 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, or technically episode 40. What is this season? What even is this season? Last week was just absolutely... I was glad I had Dagon's little blanket to comfort me. This week I've got Yuji's jacket. I'm also glad, we're going to talk about it in the comments here in a second, that Sukuna has not revealed themselves yet, because I'll be honest, I did not want to wear a bodysuit for this episode. But yeah, no, it's fine. So, everything's chaos. Nanami, Maki, Nabito, they could all be dead. Yuji is Sukuna. Sukuna's come loose. Toji is facing off Megumi, who we'll talk about in a second. Doesn't know who he is. Mahito, who knows? White-haired individual, who they be. Blonde, probably not dead. Brain-kun with Mei Mei. What do we do with that? And Gojo's stuck in a box. He's living his Alice in Chains fantasy, and we're all suffering for it. So... good on you, Gojo. But yeah, I've got lots of comments, so we're not going to waste any more time. We're just going to dive right into these because there's a lot to talk about before we start this episode. So thank you all for the awesome comments. Thank you, moderators. But sorry, this is probably going to take a little bit. Math was talking about the Discord, and several have commented on this. So it's not just Math, but Math was the first, so they get dibs. They were talking in the Discord about Geto's parenting style versus Gojo's in relation to the montage with the twins in the last episode. Geto's parenting style is very hands-on, gentle, raising the girls up to be just normal girls because their whole goal is to eliminate anything that would be a threat to them. Whereas Gojo is just trying out to make out everyone to be strong as he is, because it's kind of like Gojo's like, yeah, the world sucks, so we gotta be ready for it. And Geto's like, well, what if we destroyed the world and then it wouldn't suck? So it's kind of like just these two different parenting styles, and it's fascinating. And unfortunately, Geto's hands-on parenting style was not successful in protecting them from Sukuna, the King of Curses. But you know, that seems like a rare exception, right? Gin notes how Gojo is like, I will make you strong enough for a messed up world, and Geto's, I will fix the world so you don't have to be strong. I like the way that was worded, so thank you, Gin. Jake Collins pointed out that Yuji has had compassion for humanity so far, and things that involve humanity. So the transfigured curses that were once human but transformed by Mahito, he's had compassion for. The curse wound paintings that are part human, the more humanoid they are, the more compassion he seems to have for them. And then, but when you have a curse like Hanami, who's revealed to be working with Mahito, then he kind of doesn't have as much compassion for it. So Yuji's not totally compassionate towards everyone, but he particularly is towards humanity itself. But User V pointed out, to go along with Jake Collins' comment, that ironically enough, Mahito is a curse born out of humans. So what do we do with that? It is the most distant to the other curses. Mahito is honestly distant from the other curses. We say that Choso is because Choso and the curse wound paintings are just kind of like, we're just here and we're just going with whatever side. But even Mahito, who is technically on the side of the curses, is kind of distant from them. Mahito's just like, I'm just doing my own thing. Mahito is kind of like the curse, like the Brain-kun side's Sukuna in a way, I guess. Although Sukuna's just working as a solo agent. They don't really have a side. But I thought that was very, very interesting. Especially considering that Mahito is despised by Yuji and vice versa, according to Gege. Now, Blue Buddy talked about how in episode 15, Geto in the flashback, according to Gege, speaking of which, was reading a parenting book. I'm like, oh man, Geto, you got to teenage girls, you got to the teen years, and he was like, I don't know what to do. These girls are not boys. I was like, how do I handle this? And I'm not a parent, but I have to be, so it just makes me sad. I want like an alternate universe where Gojo and Geto are raising Megumi and the twins together, and the twins like just tease Megumi, and Megumi's like, I'm surrounded by sisters, what do I do with my life? And then, you know, I need that life. I need that alternate universe, please. JV noted about all this is what we're talking about this, all the man service. And I was like, yes, I agree. Growing up as a female viewer of shonen, I'm here for the man service. And here's the thing. Gege has given us, so far, this second half of season 2, all the man service with no one shanking their clothes. It's like the most conservative man service you've ever man serviced in your life. Sukuna keeping it all on. There's like a hole here. It's like, somebody was commenting how like he's in this nasty, dirty outfit, but he's like, keep it on. He gets like a brand new clean one, and he's like, no, but we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, nope. Everything on. We're totally fine. Dainty ankles showing like the peasantry Victorian woman that he is. Absolutely. Nanami, I mean, we've gotten some biceps showing. Let's be real. But otherwise, clothed. Toji's wearing a damn sweater. Toji's living his Taylor Swift era, like sweater, like just cuddling up by the fire. That's Toji's life right now. Jogo, clothed. I'm including him in the man service. You better believe it. Dagon, well, Dagon was a curse, but he had a blanket, you know. But yeah, for the most part, all of the man service fully clothed. Passing the ratings. I'm so proud. So proud of Gege. Seppi point out Toji popping up out of the blue is the way he like rises up out of Megumi's domain expansion is like a Renaissance painting, and Renaissance, as Seppi points out, means revival. Just Toji, a Renaissance man through and through. Tim Kane noted the painting behind Jogo. I said last episode it looked very Jackson Pollock inspired, but they said it's actually called The Myth of Tomorrow by Taro Okamoto. It is basically meant to describe the moment the atomic bomb explodes, and it's about humanity being capable of proudly overcoming even the cruelest of tragedies and giving birth to the quote-unquote myth of tomorrow. And they thought it was really interesting because it really connects to Jogo more than humanity, and Jogo's just lost Dagon, they've lost Hanami, they seem to be like surrounded by all of this death and potential destruction, but they somehow, like a shonen protagonist, find a way to move forward, and it's like, wait, this is Jogo, but that's exactly what happens last episode. So the painting seems very apt for that moment based on its meaning. So I love that so much. Yellow Blobfish talks about Megumi's memory. You know, he doesn't remember Toji. And we were talking last episode about how it's probably because Megumi was really young when his dad left him. And he did comment in the past he doesn't remember his dad. But also, maybe memory is genetic because Toji's not very good at remembering Megumi back during Hidden Inventory, so it's very possible that Megumi just doesn't remember Toji, and that's what he's inherited from his dad. Awesome! But yeah, doesn't remember him. Could be his memories as bad as Toji's. Geto. Also, you know, last episode, when we had the flashback with the twins on the rooftop, they're brushing Geto's hair, and he's like, oh, me and Gojo, we just had a fight. That's all. I was being very romantic about it and being like, oh, he doesn't view Gojo as the strongest. He's just talking about them being in a fight together. And then Yellow Blobfish was like, yeah, that's real good and all, but basically he was making light of committing, like, you know, genocide of a village. And I was like, oh, yeah! Yeah, so basically that there is a dark edge to that where Geto's just like, oh, we just had a little fight. That's all. And I'm like, you killed a bunch of people. I don't think that's just a little thing. I don't think it's just a little fight. I can't imagine why Gojo got freaked out. You know, I thought that was interesting that you noted that. And then, again, we talk about this. I'm glad that I can still keep this jacket on. But honestly, I think I love the headcanon that Sukuna only strips when Megumi is around. He's like covered in like water from the fight with Choso. There's blood, water, goop, like snot, all this stuff on the clothing. He keeps it on. He has a brand new jacket and blazer and scarf the moment he sees Megumi. I gotta show off my abs and my pecs. It's like, I'm fully in the headcanon that that's why he stripped in that moment. He's done it twice, and Megumi was around both times. I'm just saying. So, you know. And then, is Mojito a threat to Sukuna? This was brought up in the comments. I don't think he is, because I kind of forgot after last week's discussion, thinking about season 1, Sukuna just like waved a hand, Hua Chong style, and Mojito went, Badoo! So I don't really know if Mojito's gonna be able to do anything. I don't know if Jogo's just blowing steam, and Jogo's like, oh, he's a threat, and Sukuna's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I don't think so. I don't know. But then again, Mojito's been growing in development, so there's a very good chance that maybe he could be a threat. We don't know. We don't know where the hell he is. That's the problem. We don't know where he is. Loisiji, sorry if I say that wrong, noted that Gege is colorblind. Our mangaka is colorblind, so... And they said that that's why in some color spreads that colors are just different. I kind of like that. I think it's kind of cool. The one thing I wish were different was that I know Megumi in the manga. The only thing I know just from seeing some fan art shared in the Discord is that Megumi in the manga has green eyes and his eyes are a little bit more like grayish blue here. I wish they were green. That's the one thing I do regret. I wish that were the case. Theo Berry talks about how Nobito, the reason why he got frozen and was able to be attacked by Jogo is because they talked about when he was explaining his technique, the one little caveat they said, it was the minuscule, most minor detail. They were like, oh, here's how his ability works. Now, if something were to happen and he was frozen in place and he couldn't move, then this would happen. And what happens? That little tiny thing they said was the reason he got frozen and was able to be attacked by Jogo. Imagine that. So I thought that was really interesting. And then apparently the ED is slowly changing and I've not been keeping track of it. So I'm going to note that. Going to pay attention to that now this episode that the ED's changed. Going to watch that, so that'll be fun. Samala5238 said that Toji wrecked Dagon with pure physical strength. The daddy factor. He didn't even need to use cursed energy. And I think that's the most scary thing is that we talk about characters running out of cursed energy. No, Gojo literally had to blow a hole through his chest to get him to die. Now that he's a zombie, what are we going to do about that? Again, I think that Sukuna's just going to have to chop him up to bits and blow him away, but we'll see what happens. Gin talks about how Toji was, what does it say? After Choso. Something about after Choso. And then Nanami did say Dagon's name. So Nanami did say Dagon's name. That is to be noted. He did acknowledge it. I don't know. There's something. I had a note here about something after Choji. Toji was something after Choso. I don't remember what I was going to say there. It looks like IHOP, but I know that's not right. My handwriting is not the best. I don't know. Interesting. And then Anime Annie finally says that Sukuna's killing of Nanako, whose name I could not remember, R.I.P. Nanako, is mirroring the domain's usage, but without using the domain. Oh yeah, the way that it was almost like the way that Sukuna like barely killed Nanako with any effort, but there was like a mirror between their domain usage in doing so. And then this is kind of the biggest thing. I made a comment about it in last week's episode 15. Sukuna, I forgot this from season 1 because Jogo was going on and on about how Sukuna needed to make a pact with Yuji. He already has. He made a pact with Yuji back when Yuji, like, heart was ripped out. He made a pact with Yuji, but Jogo doesn't know about it, and Yuji doesn't remember it. So I was like, oh, I was being Yuji last episode. I was like, I forgot about the pact. They did make one, but Yuji doesn't remember it. That's why he never talks about it. Fair enough. So yeah, and it could be that Sukuna was just being a dick back when Yuji, lost Junpei. Sukuna could have been like, I just don't want to help you because I don't want to help you. And that's why he couldn't turn back Junpei into a human. So honestly, it's not that Sukuna isn't immune to Mahito's attacks. It's not that he's not made a pact with Yuji. He has. He might be immune to Mahito's attacks. It's just that Sukuna plays things pretty close to the vest and he's not letting on. And I kind of respect that about our cursed king. He's like, I don't have to tell you how I live my life. You don't know me. I love that. So yeah, I forgot about the pact. So it's already happened. So Jogo is just giving up all these suggestions and Sukuna's like, I've already done that. I've already done that. Don't you know? So I got my nails did. Got my wig on. I'm ready as king of the curses to see what goes down this episode. But thank you all so much. That only took 15 minutes. We're great. We're golden. So yeah, thank you for humoring me. I am so excited for this episode. I say I'm excited, but I'm also absolutely dead ass terrified. So, because who knows what's going to happen? We may go visit Starbucks with Panda and Kusakabe and see what they're doing starting this out. I'm ready for a massacre each episode now, but what else can happen? I just want Maki and Nanami to be safe at this point, and I want Megumi to be safe, but I don't know. So I think I've talked enough. We're not going to talk anymore. I'm going to throw this ball one more time until Huckleberry go lay down. He's my prince of curses. And we're going to see what happens. So we are going to start episode 16 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's go. You know what I love about this series? That you can think you have it all figured out and you can play the logistics however you want to, and then Gege goes, nah. Yeah. We've gone to hell in a handbasket, haven't we? Oh my God, Sukuna! Sukuna's like, oh my gosh, am I the body queen? Am I the body queen? I'm the body queen. Yes. Ah! Oh my God. But what? Ura Ume is the name of maybe Sukuna's former classmate from the class of 20,000 BC. What? There's a lot to talk about in this episode, and I will be honest, I had to go reheat my coffee. I had to sit down and take a second and then try to calm myself, and it's not working, as you can see, because what? Well, we found out what Panda and Kusakabe's been doing, finally, and Sukuna and Jogo, R.I.P. Jogo, R.I.P. Jogo. Jogo, man, Jogo had this episode. This was Jogo's episode for sure. We got so much to talk about. This episode was about family. And that's what makes it so powerful. It's about family, and I'm just floored. I was literally left speechless for a good solid minute after I stopped the reaction. I was just like, when am I going to start talking about this? We need to. But yeah, damn. Jogo. R.I.P. Jogo. Jogo gave a damn good fight. Jogo gave the most stellar fight maybe of this season so far. Maybe. What's insane about this? What's insane about all of this, as a matter of fact, is the idea that Jogo. Here's the thing. Again, showing how strong Gojo is. Jogo tried to put up a fight against Gojo, and Gojo was like, not done, bye. And then here, the difference is, Jogo is not one to play with their food. Jogo's like, no, we're done, battle over, let me go have my nap. That's Gojo. Gojo does not play with his food. Gojo is like, I'm gonna do the damn thing, get the job done, bye, and then he gets to move on his way. Sukuna was playing with Jogo this entire time, just seeing how much chaos Jogo's battle with him could erupt, literally and figuratively, just sitting there playing with his food, letting Jogo go all out, knowing good and damn well it's not going to make a difference, that he's still going to stop him at the end of the day, but he just let all this chaos reign because it's more collateral damage. He wanted to see what Jogo could do. He's like, go ahead and push your limits. Go on, do it. And at the end of the day, he's like, well, because you held back, that's why you died. I mean, not that it was going to make much difference. Our strength level's still too much, but you could have probably gotten this done a lot easier if you weren't so proud. And he knows the white-haired individual. That's terrifying. That means the white-haired individual is gonna mess shit up. So yeah, let's talk about this. Sukuna, King of Curses, gonna just put them up here, right? Likes to play with their food, letting Jogo go all out. We'll put Jogo over here. Jogo's just fighting. Jogo just wanted to fight for the right to party, just fighting for, he was fighting for curse equality, and it did not go over well. Nope. And Sukuna's like, I own the mansion, why would I care? And then the whole thing with Toji. I think the whole battle with Toji floors me the most because of its outcome. And I'm the most speechless because of that. But then it was just stacking on top. I will say first and foremost, I've not read the manga. One day I would like to read the manga if I'm not spoiled by it between now and then. I would like to read the manga eventually. But I can only imagine these chapters coming out one on top of the other how is your life, manga readers? How is your life? I don't want to know details. I don't want to know the contents of the manga. I would just like to know in the comments, how did you feel as a manga reader with these chapters coming out one after the other? Because I would have been like losing my mind. I would have been like, oh my God. And I would like to know a frame of reference. I may ask in the Discord. I may ask for a frame of reference. Like, where were we in the anime timeline when these chapters were coming out? Were these chapters coming out during season 1? Was that happening? Was that a thing? And while I'm sitting over there and being like, haha, baseball game, were you guys like, ah, like this, you know? Was that happening? I would like to know that, honestly. But, oh my God, this episode. We have a lot to talk about. There's still a lot of mystery, a lot going on. We have things to do, but, oh my God, Toji versus Megumi. Let's bring that up. Let's bring all the things up, why don't we, you know? So, Megumi and Toji. Toji makes the comment, or Megumi makes the comment. Megumi makes the comment that Toji is the perfected, quote unquote, the perfected form of Maki. Now, that is kind of cool that Megumi says that Megumi makes that observation. I like that. My thing is, do we think, granted, if Maki lives past whatever has happened with Jogo, if Maki lives, do we think that there is a chance of Maki ever becoming as strong as Toji? That's I know, pushing a boundary. That's really getting wishful thinking here. But I feel like if it's a perfected version, that means that it's maybe possible Maki could get close to that, or is that something Maki's going to strive to achieve? I'm trying to think of characters that are going to make it past this arc. Not many are coming to mind, but I would love if Maki made it past this. I think Maki will still be alive by the end of this because I think all the curses have underestimated her. I think Jogo did not attack her all out like he should have because he underestimated her because of her curse ability and because of her lack of curse energy. So I think that that's going to be something to Maki's advantage, that the enemy, quote unquote, has underestimated her and she's going to come out, I'm sure not unscathed, but alive at the very least. And so something Maki may be working on is the concept of being more like this being she saw battle back in Shibuya that she finds out she's related to and is like, holy shit. Oh my God. But yeah, the perfected form of Maki. Toji was straight up out of a freaking horror movie. Every scene with Toji, I'm not a horror movie person. I don't like being scared. So every possible, like when he just like, whoop, 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 he was like Michael Myers, just showing up and you're like, what is happening? He was so quick and so scary because we as the audience know that Megumi's strong. We absolutely know that. But we know that Megumi's at his limits. And was at his limits, and Toji's just firing like it's nothing. So that entire battle was just, I was on the edge of my seat, my heart was racing, I was like, what do we do? Because I kept being like, Megumi's gonna get really injured. And then, we'll talk about the blonde bastard, oh my God, whatever is coming after him, I hope it just sends him to another world. But he doesn't have any of the marks left, they're all gone. We'll talk about that, but I don't think there's any marks left on him. I think everything's gone now. So if he gets knocked out in this round, he's done. Good, that'd be great. We're gonna talk about it. But yeah, this whole thing was absolutely terrifying. I'm looking at the screen where Megumi is talking about how Inumaki got the transfigured humans out of the way. We don't know. Let's make a also note of where everybody's at and the people that are MIA. We're going to make MIA people over here. Inumaki, no clue where he went to. I figured he would have found his way to Panda. Don't know. Nobara and Nita, don't know where they are. Still curious about them. Mei Mei and Ui Ui are still somewhere versus Brain Coon, the BK, the Burger King. Don't know about them. We did find out that Shoko and the principal are there. Good, I guess it's good that they're there to get the bodies and get out. And they're near Megumi, so hopefully that means they can grab Megumi. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode. But yeah, Inumaki, we don't know where he went. Toto! Where the hell is Toto? We don't know where Toto is. Although, Toto is absent and so is Mojito. We've found the white-haired individual. They've been buying their time until their old high school bestie Sukuna showed up, and then they could go transport themselves over to say, hey, want to have a family, want to have a class reunion? And Sukuna's like, oh my god, bestie, that is the vibes I got when he was like, Urami. And it was like, did you guys like go to school together? Did you guys like cause hell together? I'm worried about the white-haired individual now, and I want to cosplay as them, so there's that. But yeah, Ura Ume is the white-haired person, curse. I think at this point it is safe to say that they are a curse. Right? Because if they can't be a cursed user and still be like, how old? Unless, we don't know how old Ura Ume is. We have no clue. I'm going to guess Ura Ume is a curse. I'm going to say they're a curse for a number of reasons. One, because I don't think Jogo and Hanami and the others would be so nonchalant around them if they were a human, because Jogo hates humans. And the only reason he's working with Geto is because he knew Brain-kun was in charge, or so we think. I think that Ura Ume is a curse because, one, I don't think Jogo would have worked with them otherwise. But two, Sukuna was just like, oh my god, bestie, let me tell you about the crush I have on this one guy. Like, all just starry-eyed, instantly, like just was like, oh, hey, it's you. But the way that they reacted, so I'm thinking it's a curse for that reason, but the way they reacted, either one, Sukuna had just not seen them in a very long time, and so it took them a second to, like, for their brain to go, oh yeah, it's you. Ha! Long time no see. Or Ura Ume has been in another form before, and now they're in a different form. And that's why Sukuna was like, oh, it's you. You look different than before, right? Time will tell. I'm sure we're going to find out, but Ura Ume just went from maybe they're dangerous to holy shit, they're really dangerous because they're besties with Sukuna. And we just saw what Sukuna could do this episode. So that's terrifying. Ha! But yeah. So we don't know where Toto is. I think, just like in the OP, Toto is going to face Mahito. Now, it showed Yuji facing Mahito in the OP, but I don't know. I don't see that, but I don't know. And I'm not going to go back to the OP and look again. Megumi, they're, like, knocked out, but oh my god, this was... The idea that Megumi was going to face Toji head-on, and they had this conversation about visualizing winning. And they couldn't. It was like, they were like, just imagine yourself winning. Like, Gojo's taught you this thing. Imagine yourself as the victor. But against Toji, it was like inner instinct telling Megumi, you're not gonna win. And he was like, nope. And so it was like fight or flight. Megumi's like, I can't win this battle. I know I can't, so I'm gonna leave. So him using the rabbits. Now, I am glad that not all the rabbits were killed. But I am glad not all the rabbits were killed, because I think, isn't it if all of the animals in Megumi's, isn't it if the animal Megumi is using as a Shikigami is killed, he can't use it again? That's why his dogs are like the hybrid now. So I'm glad some of the rabbits, it showed them like, the animation of the bunnies hopping away was so freaking cute. But then Gege had to be like, oh, isn't that adorable? Aww. And then made them blow up. Oh my god, and it was so gory and gutty and it was grotesque. But yeah, when Megumi feels like Sukuna's presence, he's like, what the hell is happening here in Shibuya? That is, I'm gonna take a screenshot. That is the phrase of the entire season. The face that Megumi makes, the phrase he said, if that is not emblematic of the entire season, I don't know what is. But yeah, Toji was not having it. And there's something so innocent about Megumi and the rabbits. There's something so beautiful and blissful and innocent about him using it. It makes that scene so much softer in a weird macabre way, because then you have Toji, who again is just running on instinct. He's not even, I was expecting if Toji was to fight in this season, he was going to be wisecracking and being kind of like he was in the flashback, but no, he'd been brought back by a seance. He was running on this zombie energy, and it wasn't until he touched and made contact with his son that he realized who he was. And it's like that, again, we talk about the soul versus the body and how they interact with one another and how they kind of coexist. and this idea of the soul using the body to override a host and things like that. We had that with Geto being able to choke out Brain Coon because his soul connected to his body. And here you have the exact same, only there it's the idea of love is what it is. The idea of love. We saw, and again, you bring it back to the board of gay yearning bitches because it's coming back to it. But you have the idea of Geto and their love for Gojo being tied to overriding Brain Coon. Like, that's what it is, right? That's the thing. That's Gojo's like, come on, Geto, don't let him do that to you. And that love was able to spark that concurrent body and soul overriding the host. And here we see the exact same thing happen. Toji and that emotion, that love that he felt for his son, and the realization that it was his son and not just somebody random. Because, yeah, Toji, he's been dead for 10 years or more. Of course he wouldn't, he's a zombie. He wouldn't put two and two together and realize that's his son until the moment he touched him and felt that energy and was like, shit, that's him. And we'll talk about that scene later, but he was like, that's him. And then that love, that connection allowed him to override the grandson's, body and just be like, and kill himself. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, but we're not there yet. But I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, just running on pure instinct. But yeah, just the little rabbits. The rabbits just running everywhere. And it's like a damn horror movie. And he's like, I don't have the energy to use a domain expansion, so I can't really do anything. And just the idea that Toji's just sitting there and the rabbits, like he even grabbed a rabbit with his mouth, like the fish, and just chucked it aside. And the poor bunnies, like he just flinging them and them all just exploding with just like splinters. Oh my God, it was terrifying. A lot of the action in this episode reminded me of, there is an art director in My Hero Academia that's done it for seasons 4 and seasons 5 and parts of season 6 that the art style reminded me of. It also reminded me of Devilman Crybaby and some of the animation in that. It's definitely an acquired taste for the animation in this fight. I feel like there were a lot of times where the animation felt very much like Devilman Crybaby, and it kind of depends on your aesthetic and how you like it. I don't mind the kind of the line work being a little wonky. It kind of almost looked like Daokusei. It looked like Classmates, like when Mahito was all like distorted and they kind of did a little flash to him. He looked like he was from Daokusei or something, which Mahito and Daokusei is the most insane crossover imaginable. But the art style is very acquired. It doesn't quite match the rest of the style when it's not, but I'm fine with it. It's not something that I'm like, oh no, it sucked. No, it was fine. The way that I feel like it's a good style to use for heavy movement, intense moments where you're trying to convey speed and agility and just the fluidity of movement. I think the style works very well in. The only thing I don't like about that style is a lot of times when things are destroyed in this animation style, it happened a lot in My Hero Academia seasons 4 and 5. Not going to spoil the plot of why or when, but it did happen if something blew up. Things like blew up into little cube chunks. Does that make sense? And there were a few times here during the Jogo eruption that happened, Mount Vesuvius in Shibuya, that stuff would blow up and they'd just become little cubes. Like they just erupted into little cheese boxes, little cheese cubes for your charcuterie board. And I'm not a fan of that necessarily, but is it enough to make me bitch about the episode? No, it's just noticeable. So I just felt like calling it out. But the movement in this episode and the action and everything going on, my mind couldn't keep up, which is why we're going back through this episode and why we're talking about it. But okay, so Shibuya stream. We get a time clock. It is 23:01. It's been like an hour since all of this started, right? This started like an hour ago, right? An hour, 2 hours ago? Not any more than 2 hours ago. This all started, everything that's been going on this season after the flashback episodes have been taking place in the span of like an hour. That's all. That's all. I was like, so you're going to show us what Dan Panda and Kusakabe have been doing now that we're in the middle of this horrific, like, absolute insane fight between Toji and Megumi. Fair enough. But, oh my God. So, the funny thing about this is, I'm watching Psycho-Pass right now. I just started that series. And the main character of it is this gritty, hardened detective that has been on the streets and jaded by life. and he also voices Panda in this series. Now that I know that, hearing Panda in this episode, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? It just is blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. But so is Kusakabe, because Kusakabe is a freaking coward and is just stalling until something happens to get them out of there. At first, when Kusakabe was talking about Toge said the news about him being sealed is real. So Inumaki has been to Panda and them. Inumaki has been to Panda and Kusakabe, told them what's been going on with Gojo, and then pieced out to who knows where. So we don't know where Inumaki is. Maybe they went back to get Toto. Don't know. But they have left the scene, so that's noteworthy. But what's crazy about that is the idea that Kusakabe, I'm going to put him on here. Kusakabe is a coward. And at first he's like, well, Gojo isn't the only person in the world, Panda. We got other people to help. He starts out in this kind of like self-righteous little rant. And at first I was like, well, I mean, that is a way to look at it. Kusakabe is wanting to go out and rescue the people that are trapped in the rubble and the possible people that escaped Mahito's transfiguration and save the little schoolgirls and get them out of the thing. And he knows that other people are going to go find Gojo, so him and Panda can pick up the slack and do the work of the other man that's, not getting done right now. And then you find out, no, he's just wanting to stall so that they can get out and not have to do anything because he knows he's not strong enough to do anything. But oh my God. And he's like, this is bad. We cut to his he like goes on this big monologue and Panda's like, well, I guess so. I guess we'll keep looking for Gojo and stuff, but we really need to get that basement. And Kusakabe's like, well, when we find it, even though they're like 3 feet from it. And I love when it goes to his internal monologue and he's like, I'm running out of room for excuses. He's like, this is bad. We're very near the basement. He's like, I don't want to go near floor B5. He's like, because Mahito's probably there. And he's like, I know I can't. He's like, I know I can't face Mahito. I know I'm going to lose. I really don't want to die here. So he's like, he's just wanting to waste time. I love that Gege has a character do this because that would happen in real life. There would be somebody that'd be like, well, you guys have fun battling. Is there something I can do right now? I'm just going to fiddle around over here. And when, the battle's over, oh my gosh, I made it. I applaud Gege for creating a character with Kusakabe that's it. They're just like, I just want to like stall until the battle's over, right? I don't want to die. Which is a very realistic answer for a human to make. And it's very real, the survival instinct. Panda's a panda. He don't know. He's like, if Panda knew how to get there, he'd run off to B5 on his own. Because I don't want to be left alone right now. He might be a panda, but he has more of a human heart than I do. Yeah, so there's the idea that he says that Panda has more humanity. But is that true? It's survival instinct. I honestly can't get mad at Kusakabe because I'm like, no, you're just trying to stay alive. And with what's been going down this season, I don't blame you. And at first I thought he was trying to keep Panda alive, which I think he is too. He doesn't want Panda to get hurt. And so he's like, I gotta stall so he doesn't go down there. He has no sense of surroundings in Shibuya. He hasn't even noticed we're super close to B5. And then Panda's like, I'm gonna go look over there. And he's like, well, yeah, we'll be thorough about it. And he's like, I'll pretend to be lost in the station next. And he's like, this huge bundle of cursed energy. What does he say there? He says this huge bundle of cursed energy keeps appearing and disappearing from the culprits who sealed Gojo. So yeah, so he can sense, I guess Panda can't. He's a panda. Guess that's the reason why. But he can sense that like the villains, the people sealing Gojo, it's like there's a battle going on. There's energy dispersing and gathering, and it's like a heartbeat. And he's like, I don't want to be a part of that. He's like, I'm not touching that. That would be stupid. It's funny, he says there's no way I'm touching that, and then grabs his shoulder. It had a gesture like Mahito would make. So I'm wondering, but I don't know. Now that Sukuna's unleashed, there is no telling what's going to happen at all. It's all hell on earth. It's chaos. There's collateral damage everywhere. Cursed spirits are dying. People are dying. It's just a massacre, right? And that's when they note about the cursed spirits. They show up like Team Rocket. Those two, they show up at the top there. The ones that Miguel and what's-her-face, it's trying to be Mei Mei but isn't hot enough. Like, that's just, you know, she's very nice. She's pretty. I'm not going to shame this curse user I know for 5 seconds. But she is trying to, like, have a Mei Mei look. Nobody beats Queen Mei Mei. No. I would cosplay as Mei Mei, but the hair in the face, can't do it. But yeah, so we have the curse users there. And there's supposedly, like, there are just 3 others at least surrounding them. And Kusakabe's like, oh, man. But I feel like Kusakabe feels a little bit more fine facing them because he knows that he has a chance. It's not like Sukuna and the curses themselves. Then we have Toji. And, oh, my God, like, Megumi, that whole damn playful cloud kept freaking me out in this episode because I kept thinking he was going to chuck it at Megumi and, like, take out an eye, which he nearly did. And it was sharpened like, just the idea of, I don't like my eyes touched. So the idea of something piercing them, no. Just, it was just giving me just the worst feeling. And it was like, you know that Toji's so good and he's so not hesitating because he doesn't realize it's his son yet, that it was a legit threat. I was terrified the entire time for Megumi facing him. And when he flew away, I was like, can you fly away further? But it doesn't work. Instead, he decides, he's like, I have to have a short and decisive battle. The one advantage I do have is, I guess, using the curses, the Shikigami that he has, and the fact that Shoko's nearby. That's such a gamble, though, when he's like, oh, well, if I just get mildly wounded, it's fine. So, yeah. So then we go back to the Shibuya toll booth in the 3 route. Now, this was at 22:51. So this was like 10 minutes before Panda and the Cursed Spirits, like during the Toji and Megumi fight. At 22:51, we have Shoko and the principal. Them show up, and there's like, what's weird is that there's like all of the little, they're the dolls. They're like the cursed dolls, like what the principal made Panda. That's what those are. Because I thought they were cursed spirits at first, and I was like, what the hell is this? They're his cursed corpses. Yes. He's like, I have your cursed corpses. I'm fine on my own. And he's like, that's not enough. He's like, the moment they learn about this place, they're going to target it. Yes. So now even Satoru is capable of healing others with his reversed cursed. Ino and Ijichi would both be dead if you weren't here. So that's the thing. The principal is like, the moment they figure out that you're here, we are screwed because you are like our healer. You're a white mage. We can't lose the white mage. I'm like, now I'm terrified for Shoko. I'm like, is the principal gonna die saving her? Oh my God, no. Everybody's life is on the table at this point, and it's absolutely terrifying. The stakes are real. I'm like, Gege, I didn't ask for this. But you're giving it anyway. And then Shoko's like, well, this was a quick judgment on your part. And talks about, like, if we'd waited for Nanami to call for me, we wouldn't have made it in time. Allowing Nanami to operate freely is a major boon. But, like, they don't know what's going on. I feel like the principal is worried about Nanami because they probably sense that Nanami, like, has that heart that they would help his students. And I feel like he's worried about it. But the fact that I think the principal's also worried that Nanami hasn't called and that the bodies have just shown up. But Ijichi and Ino, which Ino we know Megumi took to Shoko, but Ichiji was taken by Nida and Nobara. So Nobara and Nida have come in contact, presumably, with Shoko by that logic. So maybe this means that Nobara and Nida are over there with the principal and them. Maybe they can protect them. I don't know. Shoko's in that damn OP, so I'm glad she's shown up. And then the principal says, I thought you quit smoking. Which we've seen her smoke, right? Before? And she says that I'm recalling the days when I was a student for a bit. Yeah, you know, those times that you were a student back with Gojo and Ghetto and people dying. Just, not looking good, Cotton. So yeah, I do love that when Megumi, like, oh God, the whole Toji confrontation in the office space, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, where they're like, the climax of that movie is in like an office space on top of a building. Reminded me of that. But the look that they did on the animating Toji's face, where he's just like, when the water sprinklers come on, he's like, and then the thunderclap. Although the lightning, a thunderclap happens after the lightning. Like, this is the clap after the lightning, right? What does that mean? Oh no, I'm in danger. But yeah, Megumi's like, it's okay to push my body further because Shoko's nearby. I don't like that because he does that, and then that blonde mother trucker shows up, and what do we do about that? But this whole thing, don't follow him by sight, just focus on the timing. If I mess it up, I'm dead. If I mess up the timing, I'm dead. And he summons his sword, right? And right when he gets the sword, he says, I'm dead. And he knows he's going to get stabbed. But the bunny squishing and then erupting and his domain expansion came. But just enough, like a little mini version of the domain, that he could get Toji. And Toji got in with that, and he had the sword to stab him. And he went for him. But then, oh my God, the face that Toji makes when he looks at him. The face Toji makes when he looks at him and realizes who he is heartbreaking. Oh my God. It's like that moment of clarity that he realizes who he's just stabbed and is like, shit. And then he backs off. And Megumi's like, well, damn it. That was my chance to kill him. And then Toji's staring at him. And that's when he's like, oh, my brat's got it all. And I'm assuming that's Megumi standing up there on the bridge top as Toji's talking to Naobito, saying, I could give you him once his technique becomes clear at age 5 or 6. So yeah, he's talking about giving him Naobito, right? He says, depending on how much you'll pay, of course. If he has the hereditary technique, I'll take 8. I'll take 7 for anything else. And he's like, if he has the hereditary technique, I'll pay you 10. Which he does. And then at that moment, right? You think to yourself, Toji's such an asshole because he's selling his kid out for money and he's going to use it for gambling and all this and blah, blah, blah. And you feel so terrible about it because he's so scummy. But then he says the line, even if that place was a trash dump to me, it should be much better for him since he has the talent. Toji was going to sell him back to the Zenin clan because it would make sense in Toji's character to do that for money and his reputation. And he has a reputation, to maintain so that he can keep getting work after he sells Megumi. And he doesn't want to let on that he loves his son. But he's like, they treated me like garbage because I didn't have the curse technique. I didn't have the gift. But because you have the gift, you're going to be treated special. And I want you to go there and be treated special because you deserve it, because you're my kid. And then it flashes to his wife saying, take care of Megumi. And he says, not that I care anymore. And he says, not that I care at all. But he does. That's the whole point. He's selling Megumi back to the family because he cares about him and he wants him to have a good life. And he knows that with the work that he's doing, that's not going to happen. And now that his wife's gone, he's regressing and he's like, I need to get my kid out of here before I go back to my old ways. And things get really bad. And then you see the wife, her voice, saying, please take care of Megumi. And then that moment, he's like, I stabbed my kid. I didn't do what my wife asked me to do. And she's the one that I loved. And it's not only that, it's the fact that he knew if he didn't kill himself now, once that clarity, once his instinct took back over, he was probably going to attack Megumi and kill him. And he's like, because he asks him, he's like, what's your name? And that's when Megumi's like, what the hell is happening? He's like, why are you stopping? Because I love Megumi's face, like the fudge, why are you not fighting me anymore? You were just terrifying 10 seconds ago. And he says, what's your name? And Megumi's like, it's Fushiguro? And he's like, so not Zenin. And at this point, Toji has no clue whether Fushiguro actually went back to the Zenin clan, what he did, but all he knows is that just like Toji, Megumi chose to keep his wife's name. And that's all he needed to know. And he says, I'm glad. And then that's the end of, and I love Megumi's face. Megumi's face is just like, the fudge? Megumi's face is like, what? Yeah. And when he goes to turn him over, it's the grandson. So there is a high probability that Megumi will never know that that was his dad. Unless Maki lives and tells him later that she heard it from Nabito or whatever. I don't think Nabito... if anybody of those three is dead, I think it's Nabito. I'm praying it's not Nanami. My heart can't take that right now. No. But I'm just like, Megumi... I almost want Megumi to never know it was his father. Ever. I want Megumi to never realize that he just fought his dad. I want that to never be on the table. I don't know. Or if he does know his dad... then I want Gojo to get out of that damn box and tell him the whole story, is what I want to happen. I don't want it to be like some kind of messed up partial story or whatever. I want Megumi to get the full truth. But his face, when he's just like, the fudge? What just happened? And he's like, okay, well, that was weird. And then he's been stabbed, of course. And he's like, I should make sure Maki and the others are safe first, or I should get to Shoko. And then he gets stabbed, he gets slashed from behind. And as he turns around, there's that mother trucker. And all of his little rays are knocked out. So he's on his last limb. The blonde mofo is on his last limb. How dare he? How dare he? And he says, this is it. This is what I'm suited to. Oh, just being a snake in the grass. Right? So, we get the flashback where we have the cursed users talking about what to do. And the twins are very adamant that they need to get rid of Brain-kun, get rid of him, so that Geto's body can rest in peace. The other cursed users are kind of like, well, we need to follow Brain-kun because Brain-kun is essentially doing what Geto wanted. So, if we follow him, eventually he's probably going to do the same thing that Geto wanted and kill all the non-sorcerers. So, our mission's going to happen either way. This is inheriting his ambition. Let's just do that. But I like the twins are like, no. And honestly, I think the twins are probably I would agree more with them in this scenario because, one, they understand that Brain-kun is just using them. All of them understand that, I think. They know that Brain-kun is using Geto and that they're kind of following along suit. But I think the twins have a very important point in that Brain-kun is not Geto. And just because Brain-kun tells them something's happening doesn't mean it's necessarily going to end that way. You know, Geto, whenever he told the cursed users, here's what our mission is, Geto would stick to it because that's his principle and his resolve. Brain-kun, you can't trust any further than you can throw him in someone else's body. And so, I don't blame the girls for being like, I don't like this. But this one guy with the heart boobs, he basically like separates them out and he uses whatever his power is to like make the ravine and stops them for the moment and says, let's calm down. Geto wouldn't have wanted us to hurt each other. So we're not going to fight each other. We're going to just let bygones be bygones, agree to disagree, and just split up. Our goal is to make Geto king. So we're a family. We're not going to do this. We're going to split up and go separate ways. And so then we cut back to the two that are with Kusakabe and Panda. And Kusakabe's like, I thought we were going to have more of a chat. Kusakabe's like, I thought that flashback was going to take a little bit longer. He's like, shit, what are we going to do? But Kusakabe thinks that he can fight them. He's like, I'm not really too worried about it. I can handle it. And then he like is about to open what looks like a simple domain. And then all of a sudden everything starts to like erupt. And it is literally this insane battle between Jogo and Sukuna, where if you can land on Hitami, I'll kill everybody except Megumi. And oh my god, this battle was beautiful. Like, watching poor Jogo get his fingers sliced off again and again, not so beautiful. But it's like, oh, and the thing about it is, with Sukuna is clearly, bar Gojo, the strongest in the room. Yeah. When Gojo stopped Sukuna in Yuji's body back in season 1, it wasn't really Gojo versus Sukuna. Yuji took control of him again before things got out of hand. Now, if it was Sukuna versus Gojo, I don't know. I don't know what that even would look like. That's pretty terrifying if you ask me. But the funny thing about it is that on the one hand, you could look at it as being like, oh, Yuji, congrats, don't worry. Sukuna's inside of you. He can save you from anything. You're going to be invincible. But on the other hand, Sukuna could be like, nah, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want. And it's like Sukuna presents the comfort blanket of, don't worry, Yuji. Sukuna's the strongest in the room. As long as he's in charge, you're going to be fine. You're not going to get hurt. But then on the other hand, you have, oh, Yuji, I know you like humanity and like saving people's lives. Sukuna's not going to do any of those things. So it's like, it's just like a double-edged sword. You're not going to get hurt, Yuji, but some bad shit's going to go down because of you, and that's not good. But God, this fight against Jogo and him, it was incredible. Like and I will give this. Jogo is hella strong. Jogo is a freaking juggernaut. And I did not give Jogo credit where it was due. I underestimated Jogo a lot in season 1, and I underestimated him in this season too. And then he goes all out in this episode, and it's gorgeous and heartfelt and amazing. This was Jogo's swan song. He was like going out with a bang, but then Sukuna just dancing around him and flinging him. Like, what? Who's stopping him? And then all the signs from back in episode 14 are just eliminated, or episode 13 are just gone, just get knocked out. And then like just Jogo. And then yeah, just destruction after destruction. It was just a tour de force. And I like that Jogo stood up, because he remembered asking Brain-kun, like, how strong do you think I am? And Brain-kun's like, oh, probably the strength of 8 or 9 of Sukuna's fingers, so about half as strong as him now. And Jogo's like, screw that, I'm gonna be stronger than what you think I am. It felt so empowering watching Jogo try his hardest to be strong and put up a fight. And like riding on a sea of lava, Pikachu surfing on lava, Shibuya's trashed. Shibuya's done. Like, it's over. Like, it's just completely destroyed. And Sukuna's not even phased. He just is like, what are we doing? Like, this is fun, but what's happening? It's insanity, y'all. Just so crazy. Like, even the flies and the cursed, bugs are just getting chopped up. Just outrageous. And when Jogo's, the lava hands Jogo has come up his hands to grab the towers and just destroy them. Oh, my God. And then, of course, you have Sukuna standing there with his T-posing and everything, like Gojo being like, I am Sukuna is the dark version. If you can imagine, Sukuna is the dark version of Gojo. Gojo is the exalted one among the Jujutsu sorcerers. Sukuna is the exalted one among the curses. It's insanity. It's pretty crazy. And the gap in the strength was strong. But to think it was to this extent, oh my God, Sukuna, the fudge. And then he's in the moonlight, and he's like, oh, I love the moonlight. Like, this would be a great place to propose to Megumi at. But yeah, he's just like, I want to see how wasted you are from here. And that animation of when he lifts Jogo up and Jogo's jaw is about to fall to fall to the floor, and he has to hold his jaw together. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. It's just incredible. And he's like, I'll play with you until you get tired of it. And then Sukuna just shows up and he's like, hey guys, hey, you're fighting over here. What? No, you need to stay put. Let me fight Jogo. I'm going to see. And it's just what's amazing is no, you won't. He's like, nobody moves or they die. And Kusakabe and Panda, whether or not they even know that this is Sukuna, or they're like, Yuji, what the hell's going on? Doesn't matter. This is the strongest presence in the room. And the thing about it is, Sukuna's just toying with them. He's just like, I want you to stand here until I say, he's like, red light. Okay, green light, go. And that's all he's doing. And he's just creating chaos. He could destroy all of them if he wanted to. But what's the fun in that? He's a damn cat that plays with his food. And then he picks it up and takes it to Megumi and is like, look what I found for you. And Megumi's like, that's all my friends, you know? Insane. He's like, you don't move till I say now. And then, of course, he's just like, all right, time to go. And then it's just insanity. Like, just everything. This mountain of this molten meteor. And then Sukuna's just sitting there being like, hey, why don't you use your domain? And poor Jogo's like, ah! And what's interesting about this is Jogo says it wouldn't have made a difference. And Sukuna's like, is that just because Gojo showed you up? Like, why? Well, here's the thing. That right there is why Sukuna likes Megumi. That's it right there. The insanity factor, right? Because Jogo was thinking rationally and strategically for the quote-unquote long haul. That was what he was planning for. He knew that his domain expansion didn't stand up to Sukuna, didn't think it would be worth it, was like, nah, I don't think it's going to be worth it to do it. Here's my rational plan. This is how I've like led up to this point of giving the fingers to Sukuna in Yuji's body and everything. And Sukuna's like, screw that. YOLO, hashtag no regrets. Life's too short for that. Sukuna is like, forget the logic. Forget your strategy. He's like, just live and burn it down. He's like, if you just destroyed everything in your path, you wouldn't have had this problem. He's like, if you had just destroyed everything that got in your way from the start, you're strong enough. You could have gotten this done a lot sooner. Like, why didn't you? Like, he just kind of like chides and schools Jogo a little bit. But the thing about it is, back during season 1, Megumi was trying to think logically against the curse womb. He was trying to think logically, and it wasn't working for him. And he was trying to be strategic and do this long haul thinking of battle. And that's not works. That doesn't work for Megumi. It's about the short then and now. And so Megumi, in that battle back in season 1 at the climax of it, was just like, screw it, let's just make a garden and just decide to cultivate right there and then. That's why Sukuna is attracted to Megumi, because Megumi has a little bit of insanity in him and is like, screw this long haul business, I want to fight for here and now. And he's smart and he's powerful, and Sukuna's like, yes. So I think that's why he's attracted to Megumi. It's just Megumi has that spark of insanity that Sukuna's going for. Jogo doesn't have any insanity. Jogo would not be a good jujutsu sorcerer. He doesn't have the insanity to him. Jogo was practical and real. And it got him killed. And he's like, why are you comparing me with Gojo? He's like, you piqued my interest, so I'll fight you with your own specialty. Now, he says something here, and we don't get to hear what he says. He says, blip fuga, which means open. Show. Gay. What we doing? So we have something here. Boop, boop. Open. Well, the only things that have been opening so far in this season have been the prison realm. So is this an extension of its power of the prison realm that Sukuna has personal access to? Is Sukuna, oh my god. Guys, if you've watched Kuroko's Basketball, let me do a Kuroko's Basketball spoiler warning right here. Don't you all realize Almine has been reincarnated into Sukuna. Suabe has been able to open the gates now. He's able to he didn't need Kuroko, it turns out. He could open the gates himself. Sukuna cracked the code. He figured it out. He's the generation of miracles. Everyone, we've done it. Suabe finally got to voice someone opening the gates to the true zone. All right, end of Kuroko's Basketball spoilers. I had to. It just dawned on me. I was like, oh my god, yes. But yeah, so I'm wondering if this whole like gate opening thing is like him opening, like, can he access other people's abilities using this curse technique? Because Jogo's like, wait, when were you able to do this? Because he has like the flame sword. I love Jogo's face. He's like, those are my techniques. He's like, what are we doing? He's like, that's my flames. He's like, what's happening? And then he's like, I thought Sukuna's technique was severing and slicing. And Sukuna's like, oh, I thought it was well known. Also, that giant flame sword is a giant phallic symbol. Sorry, had to say it. He's like, I thought it was well known, but I suppose you wouldn't know, cursed spirit. So is it suggesting that there are techniques that Sukuna has that are not known unless you're a human or a jujutsu sorcerer, or word hasn't been spread through the cursed spirits about all his techniques? I like the idea that Sukuna has a lot up his sleeve we don't even know about. That's exciting. I'm all here for that. That's a fun time. But he's like, arm yourself. And Jogo's like, well, if I'm going to go down now in this contest of firepower. And he has the little fireball. And then Sukuna has the flaming arrow. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. Like, he has a bow. It looks very... I like the bow and arrow because it's very primal. And it's almost very, like, rudimentary and very raw, which kind of matches Sukuna quite a bit. And then you have Jogo, who just has like the little ball, like even more primal and raw. But it's kind of like you brought a dodgeball to an arrow fight, you know. You know, Kusakabe, this whole game has been playing like the ultimate game of dodgeball. They've been like, if I just hang out in the back, nobody will know I'm here, and then the game will be over and I'll have made it out. Does not work with Sukuna being present, right? And then they're about to go at it, and then we don't even see the ending till it's too late. It just happens. And my heart broke. Because then he's with Hanami and Dagon. And it's just like, you know he's dead. You know it's happening, and you're just like, oh damn, he's already dead. And they're like, there's still Mahito. Like, yeah, humans fear and loathe death. Yet the ones standing behind that are also humans. So that's interesting that, like, death, Hanami and Dagon and them are talking about, like, how death doesn't affect them like it does humanity. And humans fear death, but they're the ones standing behind it. Like, they're the ones that have to face it. So it's something that they shouldn't be afraid of. But then we see this black door. To humans, death is a mirror. And Mahito is that mirror. Again, the way that Mahito looks in there, it looks like kind of Dakusei-like art. It's creepy, and we don't get to see Mahito's face. We just see his like grizzled form and his little goat body at the bottom, like the fudge. But I like the idea that like death is a mirror and Mahito is that mirror to them. Mahito is going to show humanity like it's what it fears and death itself. So they're like, oh, he'll probably be fine. Basically, Mahito's gonna be okay. And Jogo just looks like, I guess you guys. And like, Mahito will continue to grow stronger still. That's why you place him at the top of our ranks, right? And he's like, I guess, guys. And he's like, well, we're not going to be the same as we are when we're reborn again. And this part was really sweet. He's like, I hope I meet you guys again someday, though, even if we're totally different. I was like, I kind of hope you guys meet together, too, because that's really sweet. That was very sweet. They're like their little sentiments of seeing each other again once they're reborn. I was like, oh, damn. No, we're not going to talk about Choso, because Choso is a curse painting. He doesn't get involved in this. But it was really heartfelt. He's like, I'll eagerly await the day that we meet again. And I was like, aw. He's like, we are the true humans. And the thing about it is, Sukuna kind of challenges him even in death on that. He's like, are you sure? He's like, you say that. But he's like, you wanted to become human? Or did you want the same position as them? He's like, you keep comparing yourself to humanity, but it doesn't matter. I like that Sukuna kind of like cuts through the rope in that moment. He's like, being human, having the same position as them. He's like, who cares? He's like, no, that doesn't matter. He's like, no, humans, curses, all of you get together and measure your worth against one another, driving you all to grow weakened and stunted. You should have just burnt everything down without calculations or plot and cast aside race, future, everything until you reach Satoru Gojo. That hunger to seize your ideals is what you were lacking. So yeah, Sukuna's like, you have to be hungry. And you weren't hungry enough. Instead, you were too busy trying to like challenge each other and seeing who was better. Who he's like, no, that doesn't matter. None of that matters in the end. And Jogo's like, maybe you're right. But you managed to entertain me a bit. And Sukuna's like, I fought humans, sorcerers, and cursed spirits 1,000 years ago, and you were one of the better ones I fought. So he says, be proud. You were strong. And that moment, he looks so innocent in that moment, like just a little inspirational poster, you know. You were strong. Yeah, so I mean, like, if anything, Jogo, you gave him a run for his money, if anything. And he's like, I faced off 1,000 years ago, so that's not terrifying at all. And then, yeah, and then we cut back to Jogo, and he's crying. And Jogo's like, what are these tears? And Sukuna's like, I've never cried in my life. And I'm like, oh my God, no! Sukuna's never cried. Oh, man. Yeah. We had Toji feeling things. We had Jogo feeling things. And Sukuna's like, I don't have a heart. And I'm like, shit. Damn it. You'd probably cry if Megumi was gone, you bastard. But then, yeah. Jogo cried at the end. I'm legit sad that Jogo's dead. I really am. He had a really good battle this episode. I'm mad that he's potentially killed Nanami. I'm mad about that, but ugh. And so then, as like buildings are falling and everything, he's like, who are you? And then the white-haired individual just shows up. I've come to welcome you. And says, yeah, Sukuna-sama. Look at them just bowing all sweet like. And Sukuna's like, wait a minute. Do I know you? And then that's when they turn around and they're like, oh, Urume. Like, they're so excited to see them. And I'm like, that's not good. I'm so intrigued. I want to know more. I want to know how they know each other. I want all the details. And I know that we're going to get all the details, so don't tell me. Don't spoil it for me. I want to find out, but I'm so damn fascinated. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what? What is even happening? This is bad because Jogo, Jogo was someone that amused Sukuna, but Sukuna was like, I don't care. The fact that Sukuna has history with Urume, I don't like that. Because if Brain-kun sought out Urume to get them to get Sukuna on their side, that's not good. Nope. Not good at all. I don't like where this is headed. I feel like that's the only reason they're like, oh, it's been a long time. Oh no. Uh-oh. I'm like, I get like total, again, Attack on Titan. There's a character that voices Urume that's friends with another antagonistic character. And it's like, wow, getting those same vibes. Nope. Not having this. Meanwhile, at 23:07, or 6 minutes later after this, okay, at 23:07. Okay, so 6 minutes later, which is basically around the time that all this shit was going down with them, we see, okay, what is this? Okay, the blonde said F you, and there's this thing in white with like this creature in like that's stark white, like the whitest thing you've ever seen. And what? And it has like I don't know if it's a sword or if it's like a weapon or part of its outfit, but it's all white. And it said F you. And he says, damn it. And the blonde is scared, and the blonde's like, oh my god, wake up, shitty sorcerer. So, Megumi's been knocked up against the door, and like their face has been smashed up against it, and they're bleeding everywhere, and they've been stabbed and slashed in the back by you, blonde mother trucker. So I'm guessing that whatever's in the white, like maybe it attacked Megumi. I'm assuming we might find out next episode, but I don't know. Who's this white creature? What? Oh my god. Nope. So yeah, that's all. I've talked for an hour about this episode. Ah! I'm floored by Toji being dead. Did not see that coming. I was really hoping Sukuna would fight Toji. You could say, on the one hand, I'm sure there are some people that think it's a cop-out by Gege to have Toji stab himself in the face and that be the end of him. And that's conveniently, like, narratively, like, you know, Gege was like, oh God, how do we get rid of Toji? Because Toji should theoretically win the fight against Megumi easily. So how do we get rid of him? And you could say that Gege did a cop-out by having him stab himself, and that's how it ends. Whatever. But I do appreciate that Gege took the moment to make it very apparent to us that regardless of Toji's faults, regardless of his flaws, regardless of everything, and it's kind of like Toji and Jogo had a very similar story. Both of them incredibly flawed, right? You had Toji with all of his flaws and his gambling and his negligence as a parent. After his wife died, he went downhill. You have Jogo and his hatred of humanity and his murder and all of that. But at the core of their characters, both Toji and Jogo were characters that fiercely cared about a particular individual or set of individuals. In Jogo's case, it was, Hanami and Dagon. And in Toji's case, it was his wife and his son. And at the end of the day, Jogo died defending those spirits that were his comrades and trying to get their overall objective accomplished through Sukuna. And Toji, at the end of the day, chose to spare his son, who he loved, by killing himself and ending his time on Earth completely. And you could call it a narrative cop-out, but I'm like, no, it's unexpected, but I get it. And I'm like, there's a part of me that wants Megumi to know that it was Toji, and there's another part of me that's like, it's so complicated. How could he know, and get the same thing that we get out of it as he could get out of it. But then Jogo dying, trying his hardest to get his goals accomplished. Damn. This episode hit hard, but I'm just like so shocked and speechless. We still don't know about Todo, about Mahito, about Urahime, about Inumaki, about Nobara and Nita, Mei. We don't know about any of them. But whoever that blonde son of a bitch, I'm like, I knew he wasn't dead, but I thought for sure he was going to face up against Nobara and Nita again, but I'm just like, I thought for a second, like when we saw the white feet with the rings and the thing, I thought for a second, like in the episode, I thought it was Nanami for a hot second, and I know now it's not, because they're like stark white and everything, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I thought it was Nanami, because I was like, well, the blonde curse user would be freaking out if Nanami was there, and was like, oh no, and he probably was going to tell Megumi, like, wake up, show Nanami you're okay, I didn't really hurt you that bad, kid, wake up so that we know it's okay, it's fine. But it's not Nanami, it's some weird curse thing that we don't know about, that I'm freaking out about, so. But why is it attacking the curse user? Why is it attacking Shigemo? If it's a curse, unless it's like something transformed by Mahito. Or something ridiculous that's just popped in, I don't know. I thought it was Nanami, though, for a hot second. And then seeing the feet and the ankle cuffs, I was like, oh, the skin's too white. I'm like, no, it's not, but wishful thinking. So, yeah, I'm excited to hear your comments down below. Again, please no manga talk. I don't want to hear anything about the manga. Please, I know, I understand, but keep that all to yourselves. If you're in the Discord, y'all can black box it and talk about it amongst yourselves there. But I don't want in the comments to read about anything with the manga. Please no spoilers, hints, or clues, but holy shit, I am shooketh by this episode. And amazed. So, in the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back to see what fresh fun awaits us in episode 17 of Jujutsu Kaisen.